The DASH diet was literally designed in research labs to lower blood pressure. But here's what's interesting. Its benefits extend far beyond just managing hypertension. Let's dig into why this eating pattern works and how to implement it effectively, because the mechanisms are actually quite elegant. At its core, DASH works through mineral balance. We're talking about the interplay between potassium, magnesium, calcium, and sodium. These aren't just numbers on a nutrition label. Potassium directly influences how your blood vessels dilate and constrict. Magnesium affects vascular smooth muscle tone. Calcium plays a role in blood pressure regulation that most people don't appreciate. And sodium, well, everyone knows sodium matters, but it's really the ratio of sodium to these other minerals that's critical. The phased approach to DASH makes sense physiologically. You don't just slash your sodium intake overnight. Starting with DASH level 1 means aiming for 2,300 milligrams of sodium daily. That's already significantly lower than what most Americans consume, which hovers around 3,400 milligrams. Once your body adapts and you've made the necessary food swaps, you can progress to level 2 at 1,500 milligrams daily. This is where you see the most dramatic blood pressure reductions, sometimes comparable to what you'd get from a single blood pressure medication. But here's where people struggle. Reducing sodium isn't just about putting down the salt shaker. That accounts for maybe 15 to 20% of sodium intake. The real challenge is avoiding processed and restaurant foods, where sodium hides in shocking amounts. A single restaurant meal can blow your entire daily sodium allowance. So the practical implementation requires learning to cook, preparing foods at home, and becoming an aggressive label reader. The potassium target is equally important and often overlooked. You're aiming for 4,700 milligrams daily, which sounds like a lot because it is. You need multiple servings of potassium-rich foods: bananas, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, spinach, beans, tomatoes, yogurt. This isn't optional. The potassium-sodium balance is what really drives the blood pressure benefits. Now let's talk about some cautions. For people with kidney disease, high potassium intake can be dangerous. You absolutely need medical supervision if you have compromised kidney function. Additionally, the very low sodium level can be challenging for athletes or people in hot climates who lose significant sodium through sweat. The diet also requires significant behavior change, and compliance rates in real-world settings are honestly not great. The comparison to medication is worth addressing directly. DASH can reduce systolic blood pressure by 8 to 14 points in people with hypertension. That's clinically significant. But here's the thing, diet and medication aren't mutually exclusive. For many people with established hypertension, you need both. The diet might allow you to use lower medication doses or fewer medications, but don't expect to replace pharmaceutical treatment entirely in moderate to severe hypertension. Home blood pressure monitoring becomes essential when following DASH. You need to see if it's working for you specifically. Measure at the same times daily, track the numbers, and work with your physician to adjust medications as your blood pressure responds. The cardiovascular benefits extend to arterial stiffness, endothelial function, and oxidative stress reduction. This is comprehensive cardiovascular protection, not just blood pressure management.